crystals in tune, floating on clouds made of questions and grace, talking about life with a chibi little face. It's re-alien, we back again, floating through your mind in a galaxy den. You're safe here, stardust, take off your mask. We laugh, we cry, we talk, we ask. Gus in the portal with stories to spill, from Saturn to snacks to emotional skill, talking about brains that zigzag and sing, and how healing feels when you just do your thing. No shame in your orbit, no need to shrink. No words got rhythm, just dance how you think. It's okay to stutter, to stim, to pause. You're light in a vessel with the universal cause. So light your candle, sip your tea. There's magic in your frequency. We are the question, we are the spark, we are the cosmos, healing in the dark. Welcome to the show, now let's take that walk.
Greetings and welcome back to Neurogalactic. Oh, how I've missed you, galactic spices. Today we are embarking on a whole new journey, exploring the layers of love. In our last series, The Recipe for Happiness, we mixed together powerful ingredients like forgiveness, patience, acceptance, surrender, and gratitude. Not in that order. To create a recipe for a fulfilling life. We learnt new tools, tips, and had some perspective-shifting conversations. By exploring these ingredients, we aim to clear the path, to remove the obstacles that often block our connection to the love frequency. Now, we're diving into the foundation of it all. Love, 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 love. Love for ourselves, love for others, and love in all its forms. In this series, we'll navigate the complexities of love, from the relationships we nurture with friends and family to the romantic partnerships we cherish. We'll examine the bonds between siblings, parents, and children from both perspectives, and even the love we share with our fellow beings. But it all starts with one crucial layer: self-love. This episode is dedicated to embracing and cultivating self-love. We'll explore what it means to truly love and accept ourselves, flaws and all. By prioritizing self-love, we'll discover how to build a stronger, more compassionate relationship with ourselves and, in turn, with others. So let's begin this journey together, shall we? Let's dive into the beautiful, messy, and transformative world of self-love. When it comes to love, it's easy to get caught up in taking care of others, but let's take a moment to really think about what Buddha said. You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. I know you like how I slipped that little quote in there. Sneaky, sneaky. This quote reminds us that we deserve love and kindness too, from ourselves. You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. By treating ourselves with the same compassion and understanding that we'd offer to a friend, we can build a stronger, more loving relationship with ourselves. Let's consider what it would be like if we showed ourselves the same love and care that we often readily offer to others. If we could make sure we were sleeping, eating, breathing, self-caring the same way we would for a loved one in need. Imagine treating ourselves with kindness, compassion, and understanding, just as we would a close friend. By embracing this mindset, we can start to build a more loving and accepting relationship with ourselves. But how do we do that? If self-love was that easy, what would be the point of this episode, right? So let's get real for a second. Society has done a number on us when it comes to self-love. We've been conditioned to believe that putting ourselves first is selfish, that loving ourselves is vain, and that prioritizing our own needs is somehow less important than putting others' needs before our own. Newsflash, that's a load of crap. Think about it. We're constantly bombarded with messages telling us to put others first, to sacrifice our own desires and needs for the greater good. And don't get me wrong, being kind and compassionate towards others is amazing. But what's not amazing is when we're made to feel guilty for taking care of ourselves in the process. Why do we not include ourselves when we think of the greater good? If we all disregarded ourselves in this manner, then there would be no greater good at all. In order to help everyone, we must include and see ourselves in that. And the only person you can guarantee to have an impact on with true focus is yourself. So when we love ourselves, we love the world. We become an element of improving the greater good. We've been sold this lie that self-love is about being self-absorbed, narcissistic, and egotistical. But let me tell you, true self-love is about accepting ourselves for who we are, flaws and all. It's not about pretending you're perfect. It's about seeing the wholeness that you are. It's about recognizing our worth and treating ourselves with kindness, compassion, and understanding. About being gentle with ourselves when we mess up and celebrating our wins without apology. The thing is, when we don't prioritize self-love, we can't possibly show up fully for others. We're like empty cups, trying to pour into others when we're running on fumes ourselves. And that's not sustainable. By loving ourselves, we're not being selfish. We're actually becoming better friends, partners, and members of society. So let's flip the script. Let's start seeing self-love for what it truly is, a radical act of self-care and acceptance. Let's stop apologizing for taking care of ourselves and start celebrating our worth. Because when we love ourselves, we're not only changing our own lives, it's a ripple effect. We're changing the world around us. But the damage runs even deeper, doesn't it? This societal conditioning seeps into our subconscious mind, shaping how we perceive reality and ourselves. We start to see ourselves through a lens of self-doubt and inadequacy, constantly second-guessing our worth. We train ourselves to be polite, to downplay our achievements, and to pretend that we're not worthy of praise and love. It's like we're apologizing for taking up space. But here's the thing. Our subconscious mind is like a sponge, absorbing all these messages and repeating them back to us as truth. And before we know it, we're living in a reality that's been shaped by these negative self-perceptions. The good news is that we can rewire this narrative. Affirmations are a powerful tool for rewiring the subconscious mind. By repeating positive, empowering statements to ourselves, we can start to shift our perception of reality and ourselves, the way that we've trained ourselves to see ourselves. It's like hitting the reset button on our inner dialogue. We can start to tell ourselves that we are worthy, that we're enough, and that we deserve love and praise. And as we repeat these affirmations, our subconscious mind starts to absorb them, slowly but surely replacing the negative self-talk with a more loving and accepting narrative. It's not always easy, and it takes time. But with consistency and patience, we can reprogram our minds to see ourselves in a more positive light. And when we do, everything changes. So now that we've decided to rewire our narrative, let's get specific with some affirmations to help us cultivate self-love. Here are 10 affirmations to get you started. Take your favorites and repeat after me. I am enough exactly as I am. I love and accept myself just the way I am. I am worthy of love, care, and respect from myself and others. My worth is not defined by external validation. I am enough on my own. I trust myself and my abilities. I am deserving of happiness and joy. I celebrate my strengths and acknowledge my weaknesses with kindness. I am beautiful inside and out. I prioritize my own needs and take care of myself with love. I am worthy of forgiveness and compassion. I let go of self-criticism and I choose self-love. Take a moment to really feel these words. Repeat these affirmations to yourself daily with conviction and feeling. Remember, it's not about just saying the words, it's about believing them and making them a part of your inner dialogue. As you repeat these affirmations, you'll start to notice a shift in your perception of yourself and the world around you. You'll start to feel more confident, more compassionate, and more loving towards yourself. And that's when the magic happens. Sometimes we can be a bit cringed out at the thought of affirmations or saying things that we don't yet believe. It can feel silly or embarrassing. We gotta recognize that the part of us that feels that way is the part of us we're trying to get rid of. That's the part of us we're trying to overcome, because that's the negative Nancy in us that wants to put a lot of criticism and judgment over things. Allow yourself to just go towards who you want to be and believe that you can be that. Without your belief, you'll never get there. One of my other favourite phrases is, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Oh, love that one. I always say that one. I definitely went off script there, but I do actually really want to share a personal memory of mine on this topic. So, as you know, I am a life coach. And at the time I had a client who was going through a tough breakup. She was devastated and her self-worth was taking a huge hit. She kept saying things like, I'm completely unlovable and I'm not worthy of love and happiness, and, going in that spiral mindset. It was like she had lost her sense of identity and was defining herself solely by this one relationship falling apart. During our sessions, I'd point out, you're focusing so much on what you think you've lost, but what about what you're worth? I reminded her of all the things she loved about herself. Her passions, her strengths, her quirks, and of course I gave her some tools to help. And a big one I'll actually share with you later on in the pod. And I encouraged her to take some time for self-care, to do things that made her happy, and to practice self-compassion, obviously with the tools that I generally suggest to you guys, and then some. At first, it was tougher to shift her focus. She'd been so used to putting her partner's needs before her own that she didn't know how to prioritize herself. But slowly, she started to make small changes. She started to take long baths, connecting with nature, reading books she loved, and practicing yoga and exercise. She began to reconnect with her own interests and hobbies. As she did, something amazing happened. She started to see herself in a whole new light and realized that her worth wasn't tied to this one relationship. It was inherent to who she was as a person. She started to love herself, flaws and all, and that love became a shield against the negativity and self-doubt. She began to see that she didn't need someone else to validate her worth. She was enough, just as she was. And when she finally did start dating again, she was coming from a place of wholeness and not brokenness. She was attracting a whole new caliber of people. She knew her worth and she wasn't willing to settle for anything less. That's the power of self-love. It's not about being arrogant or self-absorbed. It's about recognizing your own worth and treating yourself with kindness, compassion, and respect. When you love yourself, you become unstoppable. You start to see the world in a different way, and you start to attract people and experiences that reflect that love. For her, it was a journey of small steps, but it added up to a big transformation. She learned to be gentle with herself, to prioritize her own needs, and to love herself without apology. And that's a lesson we can all learn from. Our level of self-love is like a filter that determines what we allow into our lives. When we love and respect ourselves, we set a standard for how others can treat us. We become more aware of our own worth and what's acceptable behavior from others. If someone is constantly negative, dismissive, or toxic, we recognize it and we know that it's not okay for them to treat us in that way. because we don't treat ourselves in that way. On the other hand, when we don't love ourselves, we might tolerate behavior that is hurtful or toxic. We might settle for being treated poorly or disrespected because we don't believe or act like we deserve better. As Don Miguel Ruiz puts it in The Mastery of Love, your degree of self-love is the degree of tolerance you have for others to treat you. Essentially, we can only tolerate what we tolerate from ourselves. Our self-abuse sets the limit for what we allow in our relationships. Now this quote, oh my God, I refer to this all the time whenever I think about self-love and what we tolerate from others. The importance of self-love being that. I learned from this book that lesson, and it's just stuck with me forever. How much we love ourselves or how bad we treat ourselves is the standard for what we allow it from other people. It's not until someone treats us worse than how we treat ourselves that we're like, all right, that's enough now, let me get out of here. Without practice, we tend to treat ourselves pretty badly. It's a game changer. It highlights the importance of self-love in shaping our relationships and boundaries. It's not until someone talks or treats us in a way which is lower than what we treat ourselves do we really feel the need to remove or protect ourselves. So with that, I'm sure you see the danger in not loving yourself enough. When we prioritize self-love, we start to recognize our own worth and won't accept disrespect from others. And it's not about being entitled or demanding. So far from that. It's about knowing our value and only accepting being treated with kindness and respect. When we set healthy boundaries and prioritize our own needs, we attract people who respect and value us for who we are, and that is a powerful thing. Prioritizing self-love is all about making conscious choices that nourish your mind, body, and soul. It's about recognizing your worth and treating yourself with kindness, compassion, and understanding. Now, I got a great question sent in from one of our listeners that's all about prioritizing self-love. They ask, what goals would be helpful in making sure that I prioritize my own self-love as much as I show love to others? Now, I love this question, and though we've already touched on some of why it's important, which in itself is a way to keep us accountable, to keep us choosing ourselves, I feel like knowing why is always really important. So I'd like to add to why it's important a bit more before answering deeper. And a huge reason is prioritizing self-love is essential because it helps us in avoiding self-betrayal, right? Self-betrayal is when we neglect or betray our own needs, desires, and values, often to please others or avoid conflict. And I need you to adopt this perspective because we have more power than we tell ourselves. I need you to see it as a choice between self-love or self-betrayal. Oh, I don't need you to, but yeah, I mean, the passionate part of me does. The passionate part of me is like, hey, I need you to do this. But it's just coach mode there, excuse me. When we engage in self-betrayal, we can feel drained, resentful, and disconnected from ourselves. And when we're disconnected from ourselves, it's a lot harder to choose ourselves. On the other hand, self-love is about treating ourselves with kindness, compassion, and understanding. It's about accepting and embracing ourselves, flaws and all, and prioritizing our own needs and desires. When we practice self-love, we build a strong sense of self-worth and self-acceptance, which can lead to a greater confidence, resilience, and overall happiness. It makes it easier to choose ourselves when needed, to say no with confidence, and unapologetically do things for ourselves that top up that self-love daily. One of the main reasons we struggle with consistency and reaching a place of true self-love is that our subconscious minds often need retraining. By doing kind things for ourselves and prioritizing self-love, we're essentially affirming our worthiness and lovability and teaching our subconscious minds to prioritize self-love. So what goals can help you prioritize self-love? Let's start with some simple yet powerful practices. Begin your day by drinking a full glass of water to rehydrate and kickstart your metabolism. Get your physical body feeling loved and connected as soon as you awake. Now, you might think, okay, how is this a goal? Well, is that the first thing you do? Sometimes it is as little as just setting yourself a goal to do daily that is just for you. Just something that just feeds and nourishes you. Something where you get to recognize your love for yourself. As simple as pouring yourself a glass of water and making sure that's the first thing you consume before anything else. Then, where possible, take a 10-minute walk outside without your phone, allowing yourself to disconnect and breathe in some fresh air. This can help clear your mind and set a positive tone for the day. Now, this you may not be able to do daily, but where you can, as often as you can, give yourself a little bit of time. These are good goals that you can just set for yourself. They're honestly such simple ways to just choose yourself. Next, think about scheduling some me time into your calendar. Whether it's a monthly massage, a relaxing bath, or a quiet evening at home. Make sure you're taking time to unwind and recharge. Make this a priority. Maybe a weekly or monthly gift you give to yourself. This is something that you commit to yourself. It's your little I love you. You might also consider setting a no work rule for one day a week, where you focus on activities that just bring you joy and fulfillment. Engaging in creative activities can also be a great way to cultivate self-love. Whether it's painting, playing an instrument, sewing, or writing, make time for hobbies that help you express yourself and tap into your passions. Do not forget your passions, people. And if you did, dust that dust off. We are removing that self-betrayal. In addition to these little acts of kindness that you'll be doing for yourself, please, just try to prioritize self-care and compassion. This might mean getting enough sleep, eating nourishing foods, and being kind to yourself when you make mistakes. We all make mistakes. You might consider planning solo outings or activities that help you feel more connected to yourself. Maybe even take yourself on a date. Dress in a way that makes you feel divine and spoil yourself with a walk along the canal or a restaurant you've been wanting to try. Finally, think about how you can cultivate a more positive mindset. This might involve writing down things you're grateful for each day, practicing mindfulness, or simply just taking a few moments each day to reflect on your thoughts and feelings. Remember the gratitude jar I spoke of in previous episodes? I think it would have been the gratitude episode, but don't hold me to that, guys. That would work great here. And how the gratitude jar works is you basically, every day, you just write down something that you're grateful for. And you can turn to that when you're having low days or low moments and you're feeling a bit disconnected from yourself. Maybe you could even do a self-love jar. Each day you write something that, you loved about yourself that day. Maybe it was an act of kindness that you provided to somebody, or overcoming something that you normally find difficult, or an obstacle, pushing yourself through, whatever. Making a beautiful creation, making time for something you've been wanting to do for a while. It could be numerous things. Just something that made you feel that love energy with yourself that day. Make at the end of each day just a love note to yourself. Something you're grateful for. Maybe a combination of the two. And for people with busy schedules or limited resources, just take a few minutes each day to practice deep breathing, meditation, or mindfulness. You can do this while you're waiting in line, sitting in traffic, or taking a break at work. There is no excuse for you to not just give yourself a moment of self-love and connectedness. By incorporating these goals into your daily routine, you can cultivate a more consistent practice of self-love. You'll be more likely to recognize when you're engaging in self-betrayal and make choices that align with your own needs and desires. That's when the magic happens. You'll start to feel more confident, resilient, and happy, and you'll show up more fully in your relationships with others. I want to add also, if you notice you do some of the things I've mentioned, then please take a moment to thank yourself and feel the love that radiates. If I've been mentioning things off of this list that you're like, oh wait, I do that for myself, please take a moment and be like, hey, look at me loving me. Okay, let all of you acknowledge that. Loving yourself more or as much as you love others is really important. When you recognize your own worth and recognize that you deserve love and care from yourself, it can totally change your life. By prioritizing self-love, you can overcome so much stress, anxiety, and depression, and completely shift your mental health for the better. When you love yourself, you're more likely to attract positive and healthy relationships. You'll prioritize your own needs and well-being, which leads to better self-care habits. Self-love also boosts your confidence and self-esteem, helping you finally pursue those goals and dreams that you've been holding on to. By embracing your true self, you'll be more authentic and genuine in your relationships. And when life gets tough, self-love helps you develop coping skills and bounce back from challenges. It's all about treating yourself with kindness, compassion, and understanding, just like you would a close friend. Self-care is not selfish. It is a necessary act of self-love and self-respect. Danielle Laporte. I hope I pronounced your name right. Yeah, I slipped another cheeky quote in there. Self-love is not selfish. It is a necessary act of self-love and self-respect. Taking care of yourself isn't selfish. It's actually more than necessary. When you prioritize self-care, you're showing yourself love and respect. If you wouldn't neglect a good friend's needs, why would you do it to yourself? By taking care of your own physical, emotional, and mental well-being, you're actually becoming a better version of yourself. You're more energized, more focused, and more able to show up for the people and things that matter to you. Self-care isn't something to feel guilty about. It's actually the most generous thing you can do. It's something to prioritize. And even that, I want to say again. Self-care isn't something to feel guilty about. It is the most generous thing that you can do. That is a Riri original, and I by Riri I mean me. Yeah, Rhiannon. Yeah. That is a Riri original, and even I'm like, whoo. Y'all might be sitting there like, okay. Well, I am my target audience. I always say this. Now, I want to share what has been a life-changing tool for myself and my clients. The "What would someone who loves themselves do?" practice. This practice is all about rewiring your subconscious mind to believe in your own worth and lovability. Here's how it works. When faced with a decision, big or small, it could literally be as small as, oh, I need a glass of water, but I don't want to move from my comfortable position right now. Then you just ask yourself, what would someone who loves themselves do in this situation? You don't even have to say in this situation. Just what would someone who loves themselves do? Take a deep breath. Relax. By the time you've asked the question, the answer will come to you. Let your intuition respond to you, because that is so quick. It's quicker than your mind can even come. I know so many of my neurospicy gang are up in here thinking, oh, but intrusive thoughts. Your intuition's faster. Okay? Trust that. Listen to that. Okay? What would someone who loves themselves do? Let your intuition respond. The first answer that comes to your mind is your soul's truth. Act on that answer, even if it feels unfamiliar or uncomfortable at first. By doing this consistently, you'll start to tap into your inner wisdom and make choices that align with your values and needs. You'll begin to see yourself in a new light, as someone worthy of love, care, and respect. As you embody self-love through your choices, your mind will start to believe you are indeed someone who loves yourself. You'll start to trust your own intuition, respect your boundaries, and prioritize your own well-being. For the next day or more, commit to asking yourself this question before making any decision. Trust the answers that come to your heart and act on them with confidence. Your soul is guiding you towards self-love and self-acceptance. Trust this process and watch your life transform. This is one of the most mind-altering practices I've ever done, and really helped me to open up to my intuition and the love frequency that moves through and surrounds me. I cannot recommend this practice enough. We are literally rewiring the subconscious mind in this practice. We are literally starting to convince our mind we are someone that loves themselves, not even just through affirmations. We are now bringing it into action, and we're now putting it into that physical form. Our mind is literally witnessing us behaving in a way that's being guided for someone who loves themselves. Please do give this practice a chance. Okay, now it is time for, you guessed it, your favorite part of the show, I assume, the spiritual quiz. I know you thought by now we would have an official sound for our theme songs, but no. Welcome to the spiritual quiz. I feel like I could have done that one for a bit longer, but next time. I've got you next time, guys. Alright. Embark on a journey of self-discovery and spiritual growth as you explore the realm of self-love. This quiz is designed to guide you in understanding the principles of self-love and how to cultivate it in your daily life. So I hope you've been paying attention today. Choose the answer that resonates with you the most for each question. Question 1. What is self-love and how does it impact our lives? A. Self-love is about being selfish and prioritizing one's needs over others. B. Self-love is about accepting and loving oneself, flaws and all, leading to a more fulfilling life. C. Self-love is a luxury that only a few can afford. Or D. Self-love is a fixed trait that cannot be developed. Let me know your answers. Is it A, B, C, or D? For number 2, we have, how can one practice self-love in daily life? A. By prioritizing others' needs above one's own. B. By being overly critical and perfectionistic. C. By taking care of one's physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Or D. By comparing oneself to others. What do you think the answer could be? Is it A, B, C, or D? Someone take this microphone away from me. Alright, number 3. What is the role of self-compassion in self-love? Is it A? Self-compassion is about being overly lenient and indulgent. B. Self-compassion is about treating oneself with kindness and understanding just as one would a close friend. C. Self-compassion is unnecessary for self-love. Or D. Self-compassion is only for those who are weak. A, B, C, or D, what do you think it could be? I'm making up for not making a longer theme tune at the start, in case you're not noticing, guys. Number 4. How can one develop a more loving relationship with themselves? A. By focusing on one's flaws and shortcomings. B. By comparing oneself to others and striving for perfection. C. By ignoring one's own needs and desires. Or D. By practicing mindfulness and self-acceptance. And for the final question, what is the outcome of cultivating self-love? A. Greater self-awareness and self-acceptance. B. Increased self-doubt and criticism. C. A sense of entitlement and arrogance. Or D. No significant impact on one's life. Well done, honey buns. Now it's time for the answers. Are you ready? Did you jot them down? Did you find it easy? Did you find it tricky? Let me know. Also, let me know what you got out of 5. Even though you guys never let me know. No, I'm joking. Some of you do. I appreciate those of you that let me know. I ask every time. And I am curious. Okay, I'm trying to get a little bit of a demographic going. Demographic? Is that the right word? I don't think it is. Trying to build some statistics. All right, let me get to the answers. Question 1. What is self-love and how does it impact our lives? The answer was, of course, B. Self-love is about accepting and loving oneself, flaws and all, leading to a more fulfilling life. Oh, we all want that. We all want that. Number 2. How can one practice self-love in daily life? The answer was, of course, C. By taking care of one's physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Come on, we know this. We grow this spirit of ours. Let me not start freestyling. I know you're dying for it. Guys, I've had a little too much coffee today, excuse me. All right, number 3. What is the role of self-compassion in self-love? B. Self-compassion is about treating oneself with kindness and understanding, just as one would a close friend. Give it to yourself. Yeah, you have to give it to yourself so that you can give it to your friends and your loved ones more truly, more purely, more strongly. Okay, love yourself first, always, guys and girls and aliens. Number 4. How can one develop a more loving relationship with themselves? The answer was, of course, D. By practicing mindfulness and self-acceptance. And finally, for number 5, what is the outcome of cultivating self-love? The answer was, of course, A. Greater self-awareness and self-acceptance. I am so looking forward to hearing how you guys did with this one. Let me know below. Let me know if you're in the live chat right now for the premiere. Let me know right now. But yeah, exciting. You know how much I love your feedback and your engagement, and it helps so much. So please, I just want to, let me just actually give a thank you to those of you that do take that extra time to make sure that you stay engaging with my posts, that you like, that you comment. It really does mean the world to me when I see that you guys are sharing and supporting as we grow. You guys really do stand out to me, and I just want you to know you're appreciated. So thank you. So moving on, you're about to get some journal prompts to help you dive deeper into self-care. I want you to feel free to express yourself in any way that feels authentic to you. Okay, if writing isn't your thing, why not try recording a voice note or a video sharing your thoughts and reflections? No script is needed, just be real. You could also get creative and make a piece of art or doodle what represents your self-love journey. Maybe write a poem or song lyrics that capture your feelings about self-love and let your emotions flow. You might find it helpful to use mind mapping or brainstorming technique to explore your thoughts or ideas, seeing where they take you. Or simply just take a few moments to reflect on the questions and notice how you feel. It's amazing how powerful this can be. So I would like to get into these journal prompts for those of you that do like to journal and do like to write, or you want to get into journaling, you want to get into writing, but you feel like you're hitting a bit of a brick wall. Journal prompts can be a really good way to just get you started, get you flowing. And you may find out after sort of answering these questions, you might want to really go into detail about something else. And please always do that. Explore, let it take you where it takes you. There is no wrong way to journal. There is no wrong way to get your emotions flowing and processing your thoughts. So what I've got are 10 journal prompts for you to get you started in this self-love journaling journey. Okay, so starting with the first one, which is, what are some things I love and appreciate about myself? Take a moment, even if you're not writing these down for journal prompts, to just question that within yourself. Ask yourself, what are some things that I love and appreciate about myself? Answer this now, internally. Even if you can only get one answer, just give that to yourself. Say it out loud. But allow yourself to connect and process this information on a more emotional level, mental level, spiritual level, physical level. All of your bodies can get involved in this one. What are some things I love and appreciate about myself? And please do the same for all of the following prompts. The next prompt I have for you is, how do I take care of my physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being? How do I take care of my physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being? You can even throw mental into there if you like. You know, I'm a big believer in the 4 bodies and learning to support each of those 4 bodies. Let me try not to trail off too much. I may actually come back to the 4 bodies at the end of these prompts. Let's move into number 3. What self-compassionate phrases can I use to comfort myself when I'm feeling stressed or anxious? What self-compassionate phrases can I use to comfort myself when I'm feeling stressed or anxious? Number 4. What are some mindfulness practices that may help me stay present and focused? What are some mindfulness practices that may help me stay present and focused? Number 5. What does self-love mean to me? And how do I envision incorporating it into my daily life? Take a moment with each of these questions to just feel and wonder. Explore the answers already within yourself. What does self-love mean to me? And how do I envision incorporating it into my daily life? Number 6. What are some negative self-thoughts I've been holding on to, and how can I reframe them into a more positive light? What are some negative thoughts I've been holding on to, and how can I reframe them into a more positive light? Number 7. What self-care practices can I commit to for the next week, and how will I hold myself accountable? Now, this is such a great one, and for going back to that goals question earlier, that's a difficult question to answer because everybody has different ways of processing and different things they need to overcome, different blockages of why self-love is an issue for them or what's got in the way. We have our general reasons, like the way that society is built and the way that we can communicate with others and, you know, what we deem as polite and a lot of the stuff that we've touched on. However, we also have personal experiences that we've been through, and certain things in regards to our goals is going to be extremely personal to us. I work as a life coach, and in regards to that, I would never just give like general advice to a client. I'd always want to see, all right, where is the root of this? Where do the shadows lie in that? What traumas have we faced? What struggles have we dealt with, you know? And based off of that, then it makes it clearer what kind of goals to set for ourselves. No one knows you greater than you know yourself. And maybe you may have been a bit disconnected from getting to know yourself. So this is a great way to get to go deeper into that and acknowledge yourself and really, really make connection. Okay? So ask yourself, what practices can I commit to for the next week? And how will I hold myself accountable? You know what you've wanted for your life. You know who you've wanted to be on a weekly basis, daily basis, monthly basis. You know who you wanted to be. So let's start setting those goals. What does it look like to be that type of person? What sort of behaviors and habits does that type of person have? And start holding yourself accountable to that. An accountability friend is always a really great way to do it as well. Someone who you can turn to and say, hey, look, this is what I'm doing for myself. Hold me accountable, G-check me, you know, let me know when you see me slipping, or just check in. Moving on to the next question. Number 8, how do I prioritize my own needs and desires, and what boundaries can I set to protect my time and energy now? This, again, is extremely personal. Please do really have a moment to think and feel in regards to answering this question. How do I prioritize my own needs and desires, and what boundaries can I set to protect my time and energy? Number 9, what are some things I'm proud of accomplishing, and how can I celebrate my successes? What are some things I'm proud of accomplishing, And how can I celebrate my successes? This is such a huge one, guys. Like, we really do need to get into the practice of celebrating ourselves without cringing out, without feeling embarrassment or shame or like we're being too vain or egotistical. No, celebrate yourself. Celebrate yourself, okay? Connect with the fact that you are a winner, okay? You have so much beauty inside of you. You have so much love inside of you. You have so much that you provide to yourself and the world around you. Acknowledge that, embody that, embrace that, so you can do that even more, okay? The more you connect with that, the brighter and the stronger and the most loving that you become. You become even more loving is what I meant to say there. You become more and more and more deeper into that love frequency and that love connectivity. Allow yourself to be thrown into that. Fun fact, guys, I've been recording this podcast and we've just flipped over into 11:11. Whoop whoop on the clock. We love that. Portal is open. Make a wish. And then number 10, we have, what is one self-love practice I can incorporate into my daily routine, and how will I make it a habit? What is one self-love practice I can incorporate into my daily routine, and how will I make it a habit? Oof. Again, this is that accountability. That is that personal experience. You know what would make you feel loved. You know. Be gracious, kind, and brave enough to give that to yourself. Consider setting a reminder to reflect on these prompts regularly and share your insights with a friend or a loved one to help you stay on track. You can also create a self-love accountability system where you reward yourself for small wins and celebrate your progress along the way. And all of those little rewards is, again, topping up that self-love. So it's like, I'm giving myself more love for loving myself. Like, it's just such a beautiful cycle. Please pour into yourselves. Please pour into yourselves, my loves. Now, I've got a story for you. So get cozy, grab your little hot drink or whatever you're consuming. I hope it's something healthy and cozy and nice, but I'm not here to judge. All right, let's go. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between rolling hills and sparkling streams, there lived a young woman named Aria. She was known for her kindness and generosity, always showing up for others in their times of need. Aria's friends and family adored her for her selflessness, but she often forgot to show up for herself. As she poured her heart and soul into helping others, Aria began to feel drained and exhausted. She neglected her own needs, ignoring the whispers of her body and mind. Her relationship suffered, and she felt like she was losing herself in the process. One day, while walking through the village, Aria stumbled upon a wise old woman named Zafir. Zafir's eyes sparkled with warmth and understanding. As she looked at Aria, she said, "You've been showing up for everyone else, but where are you in all of this?" Aria was taken aback, realizing that she had indeed forgotten to prioritize her own well-being. Zafir shared with her the importance of self-love and self-care, teaching her how to listen to her own needs and desires. Aria got into the practice of self-love, starting with small acts of kindness towards herself. She took long baths, read books that brought her joy, and learned to say no without feeling guilty. As she cultivated self-love, Aria's relationships with others transformed. She became more present, more patient, and more compassionate. Her friends and family noticed the change in her, and they too began to prioritize their own self-love. Together, they formed a community that valued self-care and self-compassion. Aria's journey taught her that showing up for herself was not selfish, but essential to showing up fully for others. As Aria's story illustrates, self-love is not a solo journey, but a ripple effect that can spread to those around us. By prioritizing our own well-being, we can become more loving, supportive, and present for the people we care about. Now, I got a great question sent in from another beautiful neurospice. Love ya, babes. It goes, How do you learn to love and see yourself again after seeing yourself through another's eyes? Whew. Now, honestly, I feel like we've highlighted again. What I really loved about these questions was I'd already wrote out what I wanted to talk about before I asked for some questions, well, before I checked what the questions were. So I loved that the questions I received, I'd already kind of answered about the importance of perspective shifting. However, because as I said before, I find it really important to know the why. I find it really important to know the why, because otherwise we just don't really attach to things. Do you know what I mean? But this question really did have me going. There are so many ways to answer this question, and I honestly feel like it would be helpful for each episode of this Layers of Love series to dive deeper into the complexities of self-love and self-acceptance, but also to understand how certain relationships with our parents may have molded us, our siblings may have molded us, our friendship groups and work, society. There's so many different areas that could have got us into a place of viewing ourselves through the eyes of the people that we loved. Whew. Okay. But we gotta unlock our brains. If you're tired of letting other people's opinions define your self-worth, it's time to take back control. Think about how their words have impacted you. Like, why are you letting someone else's opinion affect your self-perception? Identify the negative self-talk and beliefs that have developed, and let's work on shifting our perspectives. Their perspective is not your perspective. So why are we allowing it to become that? It's natural to seek validation from others, especially those that we love, but recognizing that their opinions are subjective can be so freeing. They could only see you how they've learnt to perceive the world. Take a moment to reflect on why you're seeking external validation and how it affects your self-worth. It's a hard thing to accept that we're even seeking external validation. It's a hard thing to accept, but we got to recognize that when we're in a process of only allowing ourselves to see ourselves as others have seen us, we've already taken that validation. We've validified what they've said and what they've seen and how they've perceived us. We've validified it now. By becoming more aware of your needs and desires, you can start to cultivate a more stable sense of self. Self-compassion is key in this. Treat yourself with kindness, understanding, and patience. Acknowledge your strengths and accomplishments, no matter how small they may seem. You're amazing, and it's about time you started believing it. As you start to focus on yourself, you'll start to rediscover your passions and values. What gets you fired up? What brings you joy? Engaging with activities that align with your values will help you find your sense of purpose and identity. Learn you, so no one else can trick you out of your position. Surrounding yourself with positive influences can make a huge difference. Nurture relationships that uplift and support you, and let go of those that drain your energy. We ain't got time for no energy vampires around here, yeah? And I'm hoping that with all these lessons and guidance and pods that we're having together, you're learning to tell the difference. The journey to self-love and self-acceptance is unique to every individual, and it takes time, patience, and effort, but it's worth it. Be gentle with yourself, and don't hesitate to seek help if you need it. You deserve to live a life filled with love, joy, and purpose. Self-love is not selfish. It's essential. Just like an oxygen mask on a plane, you need to put yours on first before you can help others. By prioritizing your own self-love and well-being, you'll become a more compassionate, empathetic, and loving person for those around you. Alright, Spices, let's wrap this up. Today we've been exploring the beautiful world of self-love and self-acceptance. I'm so proud of you for taking the time to focus on yourself and your growth. We've covered some amazing topics, from understanding how others' opinions can impact us to finding our own self-worth. We've talked about recognizing negative self-talk and learning to be kinder to ourselves. We've also explored the importance of self-compassion, treating ourselves with understanding and being gentle with our own journey. Just like a tree needs strong roots to weather the storms, we need self-love to navigate life's challenges. When we cultivate self-love, we build a foundation of resilience, confidence, and inner peace. It's time to focus on what truly matters, our own happiness and well-being. By prioritizing our own needs and desires, we can start to live a more authentic, fulfilling life. So remember to be your own safe haven, your own source of comfort and strength. Treat yourself with the same kindness and compassion that you would offer to a dear friend. You are worthy of love, care, and respect, simply because you exist. Thank you so much for being here, you lovely spices. Thank you for choosing yourself. By now you know, when you heal yourself, you heal the world. So thank you. If you'd like to share your thoughts or reflections from today's conversation, please leave a comment below. Don't forget to like the video, it really does help your girl out. I'd love your engagement and to continue this conversation. So for now, my spices, love you. Bye.
Take that walk. Yeah, re-alien, the vibe is lit. On the moon with the mic and a healing kit. Alien core with the firm and talk. Welcome to the show, now let's take that walk. Let's take that walk. Yeah, re-alien, the vibe is lit. On a moon with the mic and a healing kit. Alien core with the firm and talk. Welcome to the show, now let's take that walk. Let's take that walk. Yeah, re-alien, the vibe is lit. On a moon with the mic and a healing kit. Alien core with the firm and talk. Welcome to the show, now let's take that walk. Yeah, re-alien, the vibe is lit. On a moon with the mic and a healing kit. Yeah, alien core with the firm and talk. Welcome to the show, now let's take